is basically based on technical contribution things. It means without technology, for nowadays, you cannot implement any of the applications. Technology is must. So technology drives your innovation, your idea, or whatever you have, right? Now the thing is, once my existence is there, I completed my PhD in the similar area. First preference you should go with your PhD work with early career research or young scientist. Some calls are there within age limit is there. So you need to check everything and you can go for it because your recent existence is there. Now, if a researcher is working for suppose 5 areas, 6 areas, 10 areas, and he is not having that much of capable outcomes, right? Then that researcher will not be given any kind of opportunity in future to get a grant or anything. Yeah, some other grants are there. Uh, suppose some small calls are there for let us say 1 lakh, 2 lakh rupees, some startup, some hackathon and all. These will be. But suppose if you want to have something more than 15 lakh, 10 lakh, 20 lakhs, these kind of grants, independent cases, you need to have your existence through your publications, through your patentability, through your work. And you should know your every, means all research groups members, at least you should have information what kind of people are working around it, around, right? So first thing, you should be very clear where I have to apply and what will be my outcome. If my existence is there means I'm more confident. So research grant, a research proposal writing is very much related to the confidence level of yours, right? There is no other way. There is no other way which will help you. Just hang on. Ah. So there is no other way which will help you to get the grant very easily. First part is this. Okay. Then once your area is decided, you are okay with the write-up, right? There are certain instructions which you can follow and you can do. You can start writing your calls. Basically, my suggestion is if you have confidence in that area with productive outcomes in terms of publication, then you should write in exact way so the chances will be very high. It will be competitive. At the end, I will tell you, I will show you, I'm evaluating project grants also from SERB. So I will show you a few of the proposals which I evaluated in my career and what kind of answers I need to fit for the approval also. That also I will tell you. So basically, grant writing is a circular process. First work is to identify the need and focus, then find prospective grants. Grants means through various agencies. Agencies, I will tell you the various list where you can get based on your similar area of research and relevant areas basically. Then you should go with develop general proposal and budget. How you will go for all these things that I will tell you. If you have any doubt, suppose before writing, if you want to have any information, you can write any kind of letter of inquiry to the concerned agency. You will get response. Then once you are getting the response or directly you can go for preparing specific proposal. Then you can submit. Almost all everybody is accepting proposal through online mode nowadays. Then then there is a process, it's called a reviewing process. It will go to the three examiners, at least minimum three examiners. Then once it is getting positive signs, at least two, then you can get the reward later or that project will be sanctioned. Otherwise, some comments you will receive, and after modifying the comments, if your reviewers are agree, then it will go. It is like a journal-based process basically. After submission, everything goes like a journal. So carry out the project, then submit the report and everything one after another. There will be a timeline within that you need to finish. So what is there in a grant proposal basically? There are four basic informations which are required related to your work. First one is the concept. Then next one is the project or activity. Then organizational capacity and budget. These also matters a lot. Suppose whatever problem you have taken, if you don't have related technical concept to execute, then there will be a problem for you. Then next one, project and activity means scope of intervention at large level. Suppose if this project is carried right now, you have chosen a problem, you are trying to solve, you have done enhanced surveys, some well-developed countries are working on it, outcomes are socio-economic, it is fitting to the normal people, then only things will be in different way. Then you can plan with the timeline. Organizational capacity means you should have some research lab, always expected because in grant application you should write something. Some research bases are required, basically, I mean to say. And then budget. Budget is another parameter which I will tell you. So basically, if you see, any kind of proposal is having four different basic informations which you need to write as per format. Now, before you start the proposal, your planning matters, as I said you. Suppose for the plan, first and foremost thing is you decide your existence means your area of writing the proposal. First is this, and where you are well established in terms of you have some publication outcomes you delivered already. You are having 2 to 3 years or 4 years, 5 years existence in that. You know people who can review your proposal. That is another side, but you know people who can be the part of it because you have already went through the journal reviewing process. So this will boost your confidence, and whether your call is as per the mission of that agency or not. Suppose early career research. So have you started this research submission or writing at the beginning of the career like this? So early career, high risk, high reward. Government will pay you in terms of crores. So you can take high risk, high reward. It will come. But whether you are in a position to execute that, so everything should be mission oriented. All calls are based on mission, and whether your contribution or your project is matching with that or not, you need to fix it first. Then you should write what are the different goals, objectives, and activities which you are going to write, and what will be the research findings. Basically, once you have gone through the literature survey, you came to a level that my proposal can sort out these all are these issues, and where some people have concentrated, but few areas are having this. I mean to say that research gap you need to come out through your literature survey very clearly. Now, who are the stakeholders? How will they will involve that? You need to have a plan. What will be the timeline? Basically, nowadays the project goes based on the reward, how much they are paying you. 3 lakhs also, 3 years are also there, 5 years are also there. Some project, small project goes for one year, 6 months are also there, 2 years. So there is no fixed timing based on your requirement and call. From call point of view, they have fixed time. So based on that, you need to manipulate or you need to fold your work, and that should be as per format. So what are the follow-ups are required? Everything you need to do, and monitoring is very important. And how will you do? That planning should be there before writing this proposal. Identify your need and focus. So ask few questions, right, by yourself. Are you undertaking preliminary or pilot research in order to develop full-blown research agenda? This would be a question. What you want to do? So basically, academically also, if you say that professors or academicians or researchers, if they are not from industry, they are taking the grant, right? Even in IIT and IITs also, they are focusing on prototype developments, buying equipments for the lab, infrastructure they are building, and so that some innovation can come out, and they are reaching to a level, not exactly what they targeted, but they are reaching up to a level, and once it is done, they used to submit the report for that. So basically, the idea is, if whatever work you have taken, whether it is realistically you are trying to implement practically, or you are trying to make it on pilot basis, on prototype basis, because that also matters here. Now, are you seeking funding for dissertation research, pre-dissertation, postdoctoral research, anything? You need to segregate because calls are different. Experimental research, field works are also there. Now, do you want a fellowship in residence or any kind of institution that offers some support or other resources for the project? Means this will be obviously you need to identify those things. Do you want funding for large project, like something you want to go with the last several years in your future, and you want to have multiple staffs like JRF, SRF? You can build, you can reach up to a prototype level, you can come out with some product and all. Do you have a plan for that? So everything you need to be very clear over here, and you need to identify your focuses, because everything you need to draft in a proposal. Now, what are the components of a research proposal basically? First one, you need to provide the contact information. See, here the major role is, first will be the PI, and maximum I will tell you, if it is written through the PI, it's fine. Otherwise, you can add one co-PI. And if you are taking two or three, that is for namesake. Everybody understand the contribution of the later on co-PIs or something. So you should go with one PI and your own co-PI. Now, if you are going with one PI, one co-PI, then your project is in same mode, because See, suppose for career progression, if you are changing your some job or research lab or whatever you are doing, academic institution, then PI is there. He has the every right to transfer that project to the latest one. Now, if it is through co-PI, then one will exist, can execute the work in the same name of the university or institute. There is a question. Yeah, here is the possibility is there. So it should be through a co-PI. Means one co-PI, one PI is fine based on the organization. The overview means summary of the proposal, that statement of purpose for the project, why funds are being requested. Concept means you need to have your technical concept like critical issues from the literature survey, why project is necessary. These all will come through some statistics, problem, scope of the problem. These things you need to report. Project descriptions will come, how project will be implemented, basically the complete methodology. Now see why I told you that if you are not having existence in this research project or any kind of project, whatever you are writing, in methodology, what people are doing is, suppose I want to go with a project, these things I need, these experimental equipments are required, I will test and work is over. No, it's not like that. You have to report few results also in your proposal, and this result basically will come through your journals or through the work whatever you have carried. Because if the reviewer has to examine what kind of research you have done, so that you are writing a proposal, so that will only come through a methodology and your result which you have already obtained before. If you haven't done, then things will be in different, means it will, the reviewer will take you in different. Now see, only writing theoretical things, hypothetical content will not give you the fruitful outcomes. Challenge is there in the result part basically. Till now, I have done up to this. If I'm given the opportunity with few equipments, I can come out with these results. Very innovative, very result oriented, data oriented. Uh, uh, Data should be reported in the methodology section. This is called project description. It is very important part of any kind of project. Now, monitoring and evaluation, how project will be monitored, evaluated, that it will come under a plan again, execution part. Suppose you are having PI, you are having co-PI, you can collaborate. Some of the work will be given to someone and sharing of the work. He is expert in this area. Myself is expert in this area. We will share and we will execute. Like this, you have to do. Now, what is there in budget? What is there in budget? Budget is basically the cost of the project. Cost of the project means how much you have requested for the grant, and how this is linking with the contribution part. What kind of basically the different kinds of equipments are required, how it will be involved, what will be the manpower, right? So here budget break is there. I will discuss this in depth. And then organization information. Organization information is very important, right? Now let us take an example. Any proposal went through government, because this is India, so governments are preferred and they are the policy makers. So here what is happening? Any proposal went through IIT, any proposal went through NIT, CFTI, private, the categories are there. We all know it. So what is the existence of the university is there in terms of research, basically. So how can I evaluate one university or institute based on their research contribution? If now research contribution in terms of again patent will come this triple P and paper and then projects. What are the execution level? How much grant they already obtained? What kind of paper they have published? What is the H indexing of that institution? Everything matters. Whether they are publishing SCI papers or not, everything will come within a queue, right? One by one. So background of the university is very important. A governance structure is required, composition, the mission, past accomplishment, staff qualification, internal control, legal status, everything matters for the organization. Now suppose if I'm a reviewer, if it is coming from IIT with very good publication, I will take it in different way. If it comes from some XYZ university with something different kind of publication and no existence at all, then I will take it in different way. Everything is classified because it comes with the reviewer hand, everything. And out of three, two are positive, then only it will be granted. Otherwise, there will be a high, it will be a high challenge for the, I'm talking about independent research. I'm talking about independent research, whatever people are writing nowadays, why it is rejected. Now, general idea selection. General idea it comes, as I told you, that the research interest is there, where you are working, what is your existence, what kind of favorable outcomes you got, and the paper, basically your papers, patent, these all will work. And whether the idea selection is matching with the current trends are also there, where the research is saturated or not, that things are there. Whether whatever topic you have taken, that the in terms of in terms of what I will say, quality also, standard also, AI ML, in which domain, biomedical, which kind, brain wave mapping, right, cancer cell detection. So everything is freezed over there. What kind of researchers are working, what kind of contributions they are trying to make, what is the development, everything you need to know. So once you have decided your topic, now you can freeze your title. And most probably, if you can freeze it with 10 words, that is the standard one, you can go with more also. But then the title should reflect your application as well as major contribution, where you are doing, what you are doing, that should be there. The abstract maximum 3 to 400 words you can write by summarizing that the same type of paper you are writing, but languages will change. This paper presents so and so and so, like this, it will not be. This project outcome would go for this. Means everything will be like futuristic kind, because you haven't implemented this. So write up, standard of writing or way of writing will change over there. Now, what will be in introduction? Background content, rational research, questions, frame research problem, develop hypothesis, whatever are there will come under introduction with survey. In-depth survey is also required. Then what will be there in the literature review? Basically, you should focus last 5 years survey of this work. Last 5 years of survey. Now, suppose if you are not finding any work within this last 5 years, then you can go up to 10 years maximum. But there will be always some case studies and all, where you can highlight those things by referring the literature. So for project proposal, last 5 years survey is fine. Don't go more than that, because already technology is developing very fast and all the sectors are improving one by one. So sources will be the academic literature, gray literature is also a part of that. Now, where are the research gaps? You need to find out. Be a critical thinker. Why? Where is the gap? Why? How can I enter in that gap? Like the PhD work or whatever research you have carried out, the same style of thinking will be there, but through some innovation. That is called project. It should be realistic with technology-driven things. Now, how can you integrate, synthesize the existing literature? And then you have to understand some potential issues you may encounter through the survey only. This will come, because nothing is perfect. That's why the name is research, research, research. There is no end at all. Everybody knows this. Now, question-based mind, if you put that, I told you that it should be smart write-up. Smart means specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. Then the quality of the proposal will be very high. Now, what I said, question based mind means I am having something in my mind and I will ask why people will go for it. Why to do for this? It should be exact based. In paper also, sometimes we used to write vague result discussions and all going to be vague. But here in project, you should be very much specific. For each and every line, if it is representing specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound, then only it is possible to do. Think it in way. This a smart concept is very important from research perspective or research writing proposal perspective, whatever it is. Or sometimes what we are doing, suppose I'm writing a proposal for solar energy and I'm talking normally for non-conventional energy. That is called scope create, but of fun. Means you are telling more about something which is not relevant at all. So now suppose an example, if you take any kind of income, education, employment for socio-economic factors, like suppose non-fatal traffic injury happens, is there any link, any kind of role? So something which is not having any kind of role, it means you should not write that, because it must be very specific, exactly. Otherwise, things will go in different direction. Writing history won't work over here. Now, methodology. For methodology, you should think that I told you 5 W's and 1 H. Who, what, when, where, why, and how. So if you ask this question so many times with you, that answer will come to you, and you should write everything in such a way. Then method must be well thought and comprehensive, like research design. Research design is a part how you are planning your overall project while evaluation. So two terms are again there, like a data, qualitative and quantitative quality. Then numbers based. If you are writing methodology, if you have obtained some results, that result must be reported with some numbers, exact numbers, values. Then some qualitative also, something you can mixed method also. So what will happen? It will not remain history. You are writing something which you have achieved and you have cited that truly in your reference. So if anybody wants, they can check it properly. Now, cross-sectional or longitudinal survey, then primary or secondary data analysis, then validation part is also there. If you have gone with pilot kind of study, then validity is required, right? Similarly, what kind of procedure you have used, right? From where you left and from where you want to assume, you can go ahead. Now, participants, what kind of people were there, what kind of materials you have used, basically experimental proposals required this. Now, everything carried out through methodology. If I say brain is a part of our body which used to think, right? Which used to think for actions. So methodology is the main part of a proposal. Keep it in mind. If your methodology is written in a very smart way, then you can say that you have written a very good proposal. But if that methodology part is written by somehow by adding history, these people have not done, this is not issued like paper, these are following are my objectives, that is in general, then things will not, right? So you should give more stress on writing methodology. This is very important. Now proposed budget and timeline, that bifurcation will come. So what is required? These details I will tell you. Criteria for approval is relevance and effectiveness. Again, I am telling you, SMART was the part of effectiveness and relevancy. Feasibility and efficiency, impact, sustainability. Once you are given the grant, what is the sustainability of your outcome or whatever how it can benefit to the society for long run. Capacity, then financial terms will come. These all depend. Now, suppose that project call is of 30 lakhs maximum, you haven't gone through the document, you applied for 1 crore. It will be immediately rejected. Think it. They won't give you the chance to modify also. So things will go. Suppose any equipment cost is 10 lakh, you are asking 20 lakh, then things will not work out because they will ask you to give what you call quotations. You need to upload truly. Then things will come out one by one. So anything which is under criteria of the approval, you should apply within that limit only. Now, there are, as I told you, that relevance and effectiveness will come out. Do the objectives and goals match the problems or not? In general, objectives you should never write. It must be exact one, right? What do you want to do? Then what you want to achieve basically, how will the intervention achieve its objective? Now, how are stakeholders involved and how will the changes measured, monitored and evaluated? Everything should be drafted in exact way. Then only things will work for you. Feasibility and efficiency, has the approach been attempted elsewhere? Whatever you are doing, that attempt has been taken by someone, whether it is existing or not. What is the advancement? What will be your contribution after that? Is the proposed approach is practical or not? What is the time frame of the project? Is it realistic? Now suppose time requirement is 3 years, you ask for 5 years, and the implementation part requires only 6 months. Then also it will not be granted. You cannot write something which is like okay, let them approve, then I will decide, then I will do. Because see, proposal comes through your confidence only and your outcomes, whatever you have already delivered so far, right? So if any opportunity comes, then you should show based on your own areas and wherever you are doing, whatever you have already done, based on that you should plan. Not all of a sudden you have taken day and night a topic and wrote and uploaded, they will give. It is not like that. Now, what will be the impact? What will happen as a result of the project? Impact to the society is very important because it is India. How will it make different from the community? Does the proposed activity influence beyond the aims or not? So everything you have to think. Once it is executed, after executions, what will be the impact on the society realistically? A sustainability, I told you, long lasting it must be, whether it will be there or not. So these kind of questions should be there in your mind, that whatever you are writing, you are asking for the grant, whether this will satisfy the criteria or not. What will be the future, right? Research scope for other researchers, right? Other sources, correct. Now the capacity is, has the investigator succeeded in similar endeavors or equal size, scale or focus? What will be the relevant skill does the research team bring to the project? That is, skilling is also required. Suppose if it is institutional grant is there, then obviously the impact should go to the society. Means suppose if you are something you have written for boosting the skill of a common man or common person, then how it will go to that common man? What is your planning and all? That capacity you need to reflect. You need to write down over it. How do each organization contribute to the research? That part is also very important. Now, financials basically the budgets, right? Budget includes basically the expenses, incomes, contributions, right? These all will be there within a particular table. Now, are the budget items reasonable and justifiable? See, very recently you have written for those who have applied for the funding, you have gone with the justification. For each and every budget claim, you are asking some money for what it will be used, right? You need to be very specific where it will be spent. So that justification is required. You should not ask more. It will be within a limit and justify why you need that, right? Now JRF, suppose it is 31,000, right, or 35,000. You cannot ask 40,000 immediately because justification will hold you. So whatever it is there, overhead expenditures are there, traveling alliances are there. So these all should be justified. Why you need? If you want to go for presenting a paper, so where you want to present, abroad, within India, these things will be there. Now, what percentage of budget request will go directly to the beneficiary? Now, some calls are joint based, basically institution calls. They will ask 50% from the university, 50% from the government, right? Now, suppose others are also there, suppose for foreign funding like international grant, Indo-US, Indo-UK, right? So many you will find. So they are having some part, and your side India is also having some part. So everything should be reported in well manner. Because sorry,
Nothing, sir. Nothing, sir. No, no, no problem. Continue, sir.
any problem?
No, no. Continue. Continue. Continue.
Okay. So what percentage of budget and all? What are the internal controls? How the funds are spent? What kind of tracking system is in place? How are the decision made? This should be the financial part. These questions are relevantly you need to go through a proper means planning means it should be not a vague data. It should be the exact data basically. So now project budget is having direct cost, indirect cost. Direct cost is having personal expenditures, recurring expenditures, non-recurring traveling. These all are direct costs. Indirect is overhead charges. 5 to 15% you can keep extra because budget is like budget only. It is also value, not exact. So you can have some extra amount you can keep because if it is in crisis, you can use for other shortfalls. Now, budget justification is required. Budget summary outlines are there. We will go through one project proposal, one sample is there, which is available, and we can go through everything very systematically. How to write a proposal, how to go with your planning for the budget and all. This is sample budget sheet. It is normal in general. This data is fed. Some example I took. This is salary for research fellows for first year, second year, 3 year. The duration you know. Now, what kind of equipment will be there? Books, non-recurring expenditures, recurring expenditure, TA, DA, institutional support. Uh, Suppose some PI or co-PI is having some charge, that also you should report miscellaneous expenses and all. This is the bifurcation of the budget, one by one, based on several categories. So that depends. That format is there. You need to fill it. How to plan a simple research budget? Basically, the first and foremost work is you have to go with a format. Right? Each and every call will give you a proper format. Keep it in mind. From that, you try to fill it. Your major concern will come while you will ask for what is the quotation. Quotation means equipment cost. What are the equipments needed for experimentation or execution or the development? That quote should come. That quotation part is highly time taking. Otherwise, everything is defined as per the government. Today also, that JRF, SRF charges are fixed. How many you need, you have to decide that based on your project volume. Now, similarly, overhead, how much it can be. If you want to go for travel grants, also country-wise, it is defined. So everything is defined over there. Only your equipment will vary. So that is one standard you can prepare based on your project work. It should not go more, right? It should not go. Overhead also is having defined, like you can go with 10% of the total work, right? Some criteria is there for each cost. Then you can fix it. So all these plan you can make through your research budget, and you can write everything through that particular formula. A list of items, categories, suppose experiments are there, time bounds are there. Today I need this for experimentation. After 6 months, I need this. Once the work is over, one by one, you can go and review the budget basically and try to have some flexibility in terms of overhead charges, maximum limit that is defined by the cost. Now, this part is very important. Gupta sir was asking me where to approach for R&D funds. See, there are huge agencies. Huge means so many agencies. Now, it depends on where you want to apply based on your work basically. What is your research project or your major area which you are covering, right? So these agencies are defined in two ways. One is international, another is national, and one more is there. With the industry, you can take the help of, you can go with the consultancy of that particular. A problem will be given to you from the industry, you try to execute, they will pay you for that, whatever required. That is called consultancy basically. So projects can come through consultancy also, right? Now, it depends on the linking in between the academic as well as the industry. Now, next part is where to approach for it. So we are having, see, the most important website is DST and SIR. You know that. If you go to these two, all calls are reported over there, which are offered under this scheme. Several schemes are there. But other than these two, main websites are ICMR, Indian Council for Medical Research, DHR, Department of Health Research, Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, Ministry of Ayush. If your project is fitting under this topic, you can go each and every ministry web page, and there is a research scope also. You can apply. Now, Central Council for Research in Yoga Naturopathy, if your work is related to yoga, since people are from different background here, so the list is given over here. So this list I will share with each and everyone. You can have a look of it, and calls also you can check one by one. So Department of Science and Technology, SCRC, Science and Engineering, Research Council is there, CSIR, UGC, DAE, DRDO, VGST, NSA, then Welcome Trust, DBT is also there, Department of Biotechnology, Alliance India, some fundings are there. Now CSIR having some schemes, 3 years they used to fund, 2 years for extendable cases are also there. So some sponsored research, some calls are open all through the year, and few calls are date specific. Basically, if you are reaching toward the budget financial year, suppose March, you will find more calls are there, right? So you have to visit all these websites based on your area of research. You need to make a list of the agencies basically, and one by one you should try if calls are there. This is for Department of Biotechnology is also there. Now two terms are there. One is fellowship and another one is direct research fund they will give you for execution. Fellowships are available basically those who are interested to go for higher education like PhD, IITs, NITs. Now suppose postdocs also in some other institution. So these things are available based on the requirement you can apply. These all are fellowships that will be counted. Tata Innovation Fellowships are there for biological sciences people, biotechnology people, then frontier areas of biotech. A lot of schemes are there. Basically, I will share these allowed with the amount of grant maximum it is written. You can apply for this. The Department of Science and Technology is going with Inspire Faculty Fellowship, Satyam, then Swarna Jayati Fellowship, then Bowman. For Bowman, government is taking huge steps nowadays. They are helping. So what I mean to say is, suppose if anybody that Bowman applicants are considered by the government nowadays very recently. Earlier it was like SC, ST, some specific grant calls are there. So Bowmans are also can opt for a particular grant. So that will be the chances are very high if they are applying in more and more in bulk from the university side. That is the reason I shared one document 2 days before for women also. There are some calls you can try with this. And there is a website called Sherni. You know that SHERNI. Just visit that, and you need to register your. It is not compulsory. You can register over there. It is basically through UGC InfluNet. You can have collaborators. That is specific for women faculty. You will get very good exposure over there. If possible, you register over there. This will definitely help you with finding the collaborators and all. Your research potential you can explore to the outside world. Basically for boosting the women faculty. One scheme is given again by this is, suppose any women faculty has having career gap of 2 years, right? Then government is giving some scheme right? He can go apply that funding, and funding will come to that PI, and she can implement that particular project in its exact time, and that will boost the career profile. These kind of schemes are also there. You can just go to that website and check it. Now, Indian Council for Medical Research is having different kind of schemes: senior research fellowship, research assistantship, short term, low term, then extramural, ICMR, task force projects. A lot of calls are there based on your work. So you need to show your talent in your research work and your outcomes in terms of paper and patent, and then you apply. Simply apply. Department of Health Research is also there. Those who are working for biomedical, this department is offering fellowship program for women scientists is also there. Contingency amounts are there for 3 years, 30 lakh per project. That detail you can get it. This document I will share. Now come with the project timeline. And okay, it will be not a good idea if I don't tell you about international project grant also. Some bodies are there. They are funding for your British means foreign grants also. First one is NSFC. Have you heard about NSFC? Natural Science Foundation of China, right? This is one international grant body used to fund international applicants. European Union funding is there. British Council fundings are there. Then joint calls with DST. Always you will find in DST website some joint calls are there, right? When PM used to visit for science and innovation, used to go for Indo-France, Indo-China, right? So this kind of Indo-US, Indo-UK joint calls are there. If you are, but the requirement is you should have one collaborator from those countries. If you can approach them to act like host or act like a collaborator, they will simply, if they give you the concept, you both can apply, right? But you have to check whether what will be the partial contributions from these two countries will be. You have to go through that document very clearly. Then some are there like very means internationally also some project bodies are there used to fund, and getting international fund is easy compared to Indian getting fund. If you are applying a funding in India, getting is quite tough. You can say if you are, don't have your existence in that work, but getting foreign funds are very easy. That depends on the area of the research, and if your collaborator is also sound, then it will have plus point for you. So basically, these all are the calls. Next part is project timeline. That Gantt chart, you know that this is very important to know. So suppose first you see what is your time duration. If it is 3 years, so 1, 2, 3 years, divided into quarters. Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4. Similarly, Q5, Q6, Q7, Q8, and you can reach up to Q12. Now, what you do is first Q1, Q2 means 6 months. You dedicate for doing surveys, right? Hiring JRF and all, going with some purchase orders or equipment list you framed, right? And then the second part means Q3, Q4, Q5, Q6. You can consider all. You go with enhanced result outcome kind of papers, experimentation, results, right? Everything should be there. Now Q7, Q8, you go with the outcome presentation like any conference you are attending, some calls are there, you participate in more and more, outreach participations are there. But before 6 months of your submission, start writing the report which you are going to submit to the government. That is what is important. So timeline is there with you, plus minus is fine, but you should plan in this way. A giant chart basically from the approval of the grant, how you are executing one by one. You can see that here the activities are written randomly, so don't prefer it. It is like a sample I gave you, right? Major issues with the grant proposal. What are kind of grant issues are there? This you need to understand. See, always I told you that any kind of proposal is technology driven. Now suppose a person who is from MBA, right? Here also people are there. What kind of technology they can add? If they have done hypothetical research, like they collected questionnaires, they collected data set, right? After that, some AI, ML techniques and all. Where is the hardware? What is the prototype model they can develop? Can they develop some robotic kind of thing or any kind of implementation, whatever idea they are having? So obviously, you should think for whatever the results you are having, where is the technological terms? Where is the techniques you have used? What is your existence in those areas? So always projects are technology driven. right? It's like bone of your body, technology. Now, research depends on success of initial phase. Suppose if your initial phase is in success, the remaining phases will be bit worthless, you can say. What will happen? What will happen? Suppose you hired one research scholar, JRF, immediately he has left. Then you have to again hire the another one. So time will go and tension will come to your mind. Then this is another challenge. No budget breakdown, justification, do not adhere to the funding guidelines, right? Layout poor because everybody is not in a position to write the proposals, right? Grammatical errors are there, typographical issues are there. Then poor presentation will also reflect to the rejection part. Use of jargon, there is like excessive things you are writing which are not relevant, abbreviations, undefined terms. Then similarly for the response, suppose your project can go to the review part also up to three stages, first, second, third, right? So comments you need to address very clearly. If you haven't addressed, then it will be rejected. Simply it will be rejected after review also. There is a high possibility. Now major issues with grant, again the same thing, specific aim and hypothesis kind of thing. Suppose if you have written goals which are overstated, you talked more, but it requires less, then also it's a problem. So issues are there. Now hypothesis is not clearly articulated, right? Poorly you have focused, background significance is not there, why it will go, why people will go for this, why government will pay you, why government will give you this grant for implementation. A method also you have, I told you that methodology is the major part. So poor description, you referred that paper is not renowned, then problem. Outcome concerns are also there, assessment is required very clearly under method also. This part is very important, methodology is very important. If you have written methodology means things are very easy to you. Now intervention, potential bias selection sample, there is also certain mismatch, right? Concern about dosage, concentration, intervention, poorly described, right? Then again, administration of intervention like led to bias in analysis part. Basically, this is part of result. So something you tried to achieve, but you deviated from that. Controls, lack of inadequate description, controls are not there. Data analysis part is having insufficient description. Sample size, power. Your result means it will not come exactly. There will be something. So you need to test and then you have to report, right? That is what projects are always based on outcomes. If you have outcome in certain area, you are more confident. Sample size, power, etc. So what is the summary over here? Good research start with good idea. It's correct. Now, what will be the checklist? What is the problem is to be addressed? Define the question very clearly. That problem statement part is the question unanswered. Literature research is there. Do it. Formulate hypothesis. Choose appropriate study design. Identify team and collaborators. That should be research oriented. Really, they are capable enough for writing the proposals, and they executed few proposals before also. Now, determine environmental and financial needs, right? The study protocols, right? You should propose an appropriate budget and realistic timeline. Otherwise, things will go in different direction. So whatever you are writing, right? They are having a format. You have chosen your agency. They have a proper format. According to that, you have to write. Agency to agency, it will vary, right? And you have to read the document very clearly, whatever they are asking. This call is related to this means you have to submit to that only if you are related, right? So these were the few steps which if you follow, then you can write very good proposal, basically. Now, there are few samples which I want to share with you all, and then I will take over the questions, whatever you are writing or you are asking. Okay, is it fine, Gupta sir?
Yes, sir. Definitely, sir. Definitely, please.
Okay, okay. So first sample, this is available in the internet also. This is DST, one call was there, right? And it is written by IIT professor. And it is free. You can use it, no problem. This is very good file, basically. This will give you very enhanced idea. So one mechanical engineering IIT faculty, Saha sir, he is from Bengal, basically, that SK Saha. He has written a proposal, study and analysis of lightweight, high-speed robot arms, right? And this because DST, based on DST. So what he has highlighted, these two certificates, endorsement and certificate is format only. You can report it, but basic your work will start from here, the write-up part. These all are formats. You simply fill. This project is of 19 lakhs, and he has written in this way. Project summary, 150 word. Like paper summary, you have to write project summary, right? Means a total gist should be there. What you want to achieve, why people will think of it, very shortly, briefly, right? Any surveys part is there, that also you can say that so and so paper has so and so work is reported but has not looked over these things. So we are trying to counter. In this way, you have to write. Now that as it is keywords, you know that technical details, introduction. Introduction is very important. Why? Because why people will go for it? What is the data oriented, qualitative data you can write? What is the losses are there if people are not going? What is requirement? Motivation part you can add over here. And then you should come out with, if the project is implemented, then following will be the overall development. What do you want to do? You can write, right? And here you should always write some comparative kind of evaluation. Then things will be worthy enough, right? That somebody has reported up to this, through my experimentation, I will get this value and then I will compare. Comparative evaluation part is right. Then again, you can go with the origin of the proposal. The first two entire research. I told you to go with 5 years, but here origin you should report with some patent if it is five. Robotic here it is, so patent is there. For your work, you may not have patent. So you go with the last 5 years or somewhere if required, then you can take some old paper also, because you need to have your base. Where that concept came, origin of the proposal is required by DST only, not from others. So whatever the requirement is there based on performa, you should go for that, right? Now similarly, then definition of the problem statement you define during your PhD work. So here also you can define, you can phrase it very technically, and then objectives you can frame. Maximum 4 to 6 objectives are sufficient. What do you want to do, right? What do you want to achieve, implement, this kind of statements. Now review is required, literature review from international status as well as national status is required from both sides. And in national, you highlight the government, like IIT and IT, some works are going on, some research professors are working for the same, or some other IIM is also there, other different department, different hospitals, AIMS people are there. So you can write down where the works are going on government perspective. Things will be much more easier for you. Then comparison will come. Comparison is one by one. If you are writing, then you can write what kind of enhancement you can make. Then importance of proposed project in the context of current status. Why it is required? What is the current scenario? Why people will go for it? Why it is necessary? Now review of the expertise available with proposed investigation group, right? Expertise available, right? That you need to report over here. If anybody is working for it. If not, then you can leave the content, no problem. So here two professors were the part of this project. SP Singh is also there. So they too have written about their work and all, what is their existence is when they are working for the problem, they highlighted those. Now patent details are there related to this work. You can report with the patents basically related to this work, because it is a part of literature survey. You should not focus on journals only. You can go with the patents also. Other references, and since this is robotic arm development, so it is hardware related, you need to report more patents for it. Other references are also given. Other references, some are done, some are not done, some are going on. These all are the references basically. Now work plan, which is a part of methodology. See the methodology over here, all are technically highlighted. Literature survey based, these all are technical words, right? Euler, Lagrange, the Newton-Euler, Newton-FEM, finite element analysis is also there. A lot of stuff. Those who are technical things, they have written those things. Organization of work element means all are technical terms where basically you need to write. Although the methodology is limited over here, But I'll suggest you to go with uh, some kind of result oriented data also you report in methodology. Not time schedule. It is briefly given time schedule during Gantt chart. I told you if fit within that, then things will be easier. This is the sample. So they wrote in earlier days, 90s, the projects were written in this way. So they wrote. Right now also you can update also. This is one sample. Now budget estimate is also there. Recurring salaries, wages, consumables, travel, other costs are there. Year wise you can report total cost. You can write, and then the justification with the manpower for each and every cost, why it is required, what will be the, suppose any kind of fellow is there, mtech you are hiding your on that time it was 11,500, like this it is written. Justification is required for all aspects. Budget for travel is also reported. Then as per format you have to write everything what I mean to say. Now this is justification of proposed equipment, whatever equipment you are writing that it is satisfying, why it is required, what kind of experimentation you will do. And this part is very important from institutional point of view, infrastructural facility. So you have to report what kind of infrastructure you are having existing already, and if you are given the opportunity, you can execute it very clearly. So detailed biodata investigator, your publications, year-wise, what kind of contribution you made, you make the best of your CV, this quality-oriented thing. Then things will work for you. And then references, these are abbreviations. You can check this document. I will share with Gupte sir. He will share in a group. So this is one sample. Another one sample is also there. This is written uh, recently with some science-based application. Hang on. More sample is there that I will share with Gupte sir. He will help you in distributing. Now let us see few important takeaways which I wrote very clearly over here through this document. Writing effective grant proposals that I told you, that the summary. What is a research grant proposal? You have to understand importance of grant funding of research projects, overview of the grant proposal writing process. You have to understand. Understanding the funding agency, where you want to write. Funding agencies are government, private, not for profit. NGOs are also funding, right? Based on your area, you should approach to them. Researching, selecting appropriate funding agency for your work, right? Understanding agency mission. Mission is very important. If your contributions are not reflecting with the mission, then it will not be approved. They will reject it. Now, what are the various components? Title and abstract, introduction, literature review, objectives and hypothesis, methodology. In this, I told you methodology is major. Timeline, milestone, then budget, evaluation plan, references. Now, writing strategies and tips. It must be, I told you, it should follow SMART guideline, right? Then clarity and consistency, tailoring the proposal, right? Addressing review criteria, everything must fulfill. Seeking feedback, things will you have to follow everything very clearly. Grammatical errors should not be there. Then common pitfalls to avoid. People used to go for lack of clarity, poor budget justification. So here your confidence is getting now. Inadequate justification, then simply they will reject. Cases, studies, and examples. Then you should go with the conclusion part. A good means this is one of the way of writing a good proposal. What I feel, and few few reviews I have done. That is the back end side. I will show you. These are the various proposals which I evaluated. And these are the proposals. I will hide the number. These are the proposals which I have evaluated during my career. So this one submitted for one of the scheme. Here it is Supra. Then again, different types of from my own area, electrical electronics. Different budgets were there. Now I gave them comments. So now suppose let us take an example of this one, 6 July 23. Let's take another one. Comments are not reflected. You don't have access for the comments. Your comments they hide it. One minute. I will share. Just hang on. Okay. I was one of the reviewer for this. SCHF based power quality improvement. Some project is written, right? Now, merit and impact of the proposition. What is my intention is to understand what is happening after this once you are uploading your proposal. Impact of the proposed research. Comments on the scientific and technical merits of the proposal, referring to the design novelty aspect, proposed research, and viability of the proposed methodology. So I gave some comments. Comments on innovation and impact of proposed activity. I gave some comment, invalid in presence of noise. I have seen based on my own expertise, I checked that or something was missing. Fast track record ability for execution. See, not satisfactory. This is the option given by DST to me. Serve means basically they given this option to choose. Where I don't have any other thing to choose, so I choose this non-satisfactory. So what is the question? Fast track record of the ability of execute new ideas. So that inventor was new. Means basically, this PI was new. He has all of a sudden taken the problem and trying to solve. A detailed comments on the above point. Investigator is not having any refuted publication to support the proposal. See here. No fast track of handling proposal, so I can't recommend this. Now, to what extent does PI provide evidence to creative? Not satisfactory. Detail of the comment for the above. All justifications are required from the reviewer side. Human research not proposed. The meaning was different completely. So they are asking. Then I didn't find any very well reputation publication. Then finally it is not recommended. Poor recommendation. Overall I gave four. Right. So if any proposal is coming to you, means for evaluation, government is having different kind of evaluatory parameters. Based on that, this is evaluated. So if everything is fine, then it is okay. Otherwise, problem will be there. There are huge challenges for that, right? So you have to take care of all these things very clearly, and you have to write in that manner. Now, other than this, there are few different inputs which I want to give, and then I will take the questions. Right. My suggestion to the investigator, PI, target your outcome based research areas. These all are the takeaways. What I'm giving you the outcome based research areas means you show your existence first in terms of quality journals, patents, and collaborators. If you are not in a position to go with this kind of outcome based, suppose paper and all you don't have, take the help of collaborator. Collaborate from government basically, then things will be good for you. Write together, take collaboration. Number two, don't choose random call for proposals. This also won't work. This is like a something you have written which you don't know. Now, next one is there are various grants. I told you that consultancy getting is easy. If you are having any industry linking person, try to have a problem and try to resolve it. They will fund for this, right? So getting that part is easy. Independently try to write based on your own expertise. Now, I told you, you limit your co-PIs. One PI, one co-PI is fine, right? Don't go more than that. Otherwise, there is no use. Target women application calls. As I told, madams can apply. So many calls are there. Reservation for SC, ST, PH is there. Can go for that also. Now keep it in mind that your academic background matters. If it is not up to that mark, then you take the help of collaborators. Because if a call coming from IIT jointly written, then things are different. Examiners are thinking it in different, right? Chances will be high. I'm telling you how to boost your write-up. You can get also based on your ability, right? So you have to think in that way. Then there are few more suggestions to the institution from my side, what I feel. But some I can listen. If get zero, zero, I told we are in a discussion for this, but currently we are not eligible based on our own publication. Next one is get good H indexing. Try to target H indexing of the institution. H indexing is the backbone of research. Try to improve it because from where this proposal came, that also matters. So now, not we are not in a position for now, but we can plan for next 1 year, 2 year, 3 years. We can improve ourselves, no problem, because this is the backbone. Now support faculties with some research incentive to participate or motivate. That is your part also. Arrange FDPs through some government grant. This FDP is conducted for 7 days, let us say 5 days. Now, if this is funded by government like UGC can, DST can, if we apply it before, then getting 1 lakh, 2 lakh, 5 lakh is so easy to the government. You need to write down properly. So if it is sponsored, then things are much better. Now the next one is build research team and groups, specific areas to enhance research funding, participation, innovation, prototype development, and recognition. Small teams we can make. Research team, right? In a group, 4 or 5 people, 2 3 people can work for a particular problem and can go ahead. Then slowly and slowly research culture will be spread. Then again, be independent from all aspects. Do everything by ourselves. Whatever is the challenge, then fine. No problem. We are ready to take over. Finally, rejection will come or acceptance will come. One day acceptance will come if we go in that direction. Then things will be much more easier. So, and there are few websites also that I told you, DST, sir, this document I will share. And one more website is there, India Science and Technology .government.in. This website is having all calls in various domains. You can visit there. India Science and Technology.gov.in. You can visit frequently to have information about the calls, right? Yeah, that's all from my side. I think I'm over with my own content. Whatever was there, I tried my best to give you some inputs how to write a good proposal. And if some two in chat box, I'm saying two calls in case queries, please. Okay, right. So now, if you have any query, you can ask.
Uh, I wanted to start over here.
Uh,
So, sir, what does it mean for a professor to write a proposal or to get funding
Okay,
for a proposal and all? Because so that we understand exactly why are we doing all these things. What does it
okay,
mean to
right,
get a
right,
funding from the government in our careers also in long term also? What does it mean and everything?
right. Say in India, basically for India side also, and worldwide also, right? A professor is defined with two terms, academics as well as research, right? Any foreign professor also, if you see, na, research is their main and academic is like secondary, right? So if you are a very good researcher, you can teach well. This is the observation of the foreign professor as well as India. Now, yesterday also I told you that they have kept research as driving mechanism of the academics. Otherwise, you will not have anything. Suppose the main current is entering in your body is research as a professor. Otherwise, academically, you will teach something to the students and you will stay behind and just taking the class will not drive your knowledge. So why it is not mandatory and all, that is government aspects, different parameters are there. PBS also, research evaluating parameters are moving. NAC also criteria 250 marks for research. So without research, you cannot drive your knowledge, sir. Basically, I feel. So you should not be a researcher for all the area. You should target your own area. Very few things, but you should perform excellently. Now, suppose if I want my recognition, right? I may not get through academics, but I can get through research, right? So these all are several factors, sir. Without research, you cannot grow, I think, from career aspects. So, and based on government also, that research is required to, yeah. And why they have gone with certain kind of protocols, funding and all. I know that why you are asking behind also, a lot of things are there. But currently we have the right path to go ahead and nothing to do, sir. We have to apply simply. PBAS also, your career growth also, you need to do this. Now think from institution side also. Institution will lose the marks if they are not having the grant. Then challenges are so many, sir. Then who will drive the institution? Faculties only, na? It is there, sir. Everywhere. IT is also same atmosphere. And IT is also same atmosphere. You are also from IT, so same atmosphere, you know that. Then, yeah,
Sir, another question over here is we have a lot of PhD students. Can
yeah.
PhD students and professors apply jointly for some grants so that the PhD student gets some stipend or some sort of
That's right.
remuneration or can help in develop their lab? So, is there
Right.
particular grants which a PhD student and a professor can apply jointly on that? Are there particular grants on that?
So, actually, grant is a part of the professor, sir. Right? As a student, research scholar, he cannot do anything. As per till today, any grant which is based on MTech, MTech means qualification of masters, then they can go for it. But for PhD, it is the responsibility of the professor. Now, suppose if I get a grant, I added the JRF charges in that, SRF charges in that. So what I will do, I will hire a candidate for PhD, I can award. This side freedom is there, but the option or the hold is given to the professor only, right? So I also completed based on some project during my time of PhD. That project is approved in the name of my guide, and I was a part of that. Yeah.
My final question before I hand over to other questions, I would request if others have questions, please do put it in chat and let us know. We'll be more than happy to look at it. So, what is the difference between applying for a national proposal in India versus an
Yeah.
international proposal? So, we look at a lot of these DST,
Yeah.
joint DST proposal requirements, or even a lot of abroad proposals for Germany, for Europe, and especially
Yeah.
for Europe, a lot of proposals calls to come. What is the
Yeah. Yeah.
difference between applying for a domestic proposal versus an international proposal? And does the
Right.
format remain the same?
Correct. See, in India, it is national based, right? So you can be the PI, you will apply, but your evaluation parameters are many, sir. You cannot take all of a sudden different area and you can come ahead. I told you in this entire discussion. Now, any international call means you are having limited participation. Now, suppose DST Sure came, how many applications applied to the government? So many in India, right? But any call came Indo-German, right? So you see the limitation, participants are less because you are having collaborator, you are the host, you are having host, so you can write both together and you can apply. So limitations are there, and it is national based now. It is depending on the reputation also. Indian evaluator will be also there, and German evaluator will be also there. Suppose in case German has approved because of India, and India has approved because of German, so chances are very high, right? And they are having fixed grant also, sir, is there, and they will, you don't have to follow this many protocols for all this. You are independent to apply. If you have any networking, you can try.
Great, great. This is what I wanted to ask. Any other questions from anyone on the panel or anyone on the chat? Okay. I'll definitely share the documents that you sent it to me with all the faculty and everyone, sir. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming out. Thank you, Santosh, sir, for giving your valuable time yesterday and today. I really appreciate, we all really appreciate your time and everything. We
My
look
pleasure.
forward for we look forward for having great proposals coming from our faculty, and hopefully we'll get good funding for our university and everything. Thank you so
My
much for your
pleasure.
time. So thank you so
Yeah,
much.
thank you. My pleasure. My pleasure. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, sir.
No.
Thank you, everyone.